Hey there, kids. It's me, Oni the Unicorn. And I'm here to tell you that f***ing your dreams ain't cheap. In fact, it costs a ton of cash to do. So that's why me and the Oh No Radio Show need your help. Just go to the website displayed below and hit us up with some cash, yo. $1, $5, fuck, $1,000,000 if you have it to spare. Any amount is appreciated. Well, I gotta go because these dreams ain't gonna fuck themselves. See ya!
Welcome back to another edition of the Oh No Wrestling Podcast. Just the two of us here tonight. It's myself, Owen, the Sharp Break Kid, along with my good friend Duncan, the King of Bong Style. Doing a Wednesday show this week. Sorry about not hitting you up yesterday. Some stuff came up, but hey, we're here now. We'll get through this show, and then doubt we'll be doing predictions as Matthew is now with us. So we'll do something later in the week. Hopefully, kind of throwing our predictions out for Revolution.
It does seem unfair to do predictions when the champion is.
Yeah, exactly. So, we want to give him the chance to defend at least. I mean, because this one, I think this is going to be one of the better pay-per-views of the year. And, I would definitely like to give it its due, shall we say.
Absolutely.
But we do have, let's be honest. There's a lot to talk about this week as far as the wrestling world goes, and some stuff that, man, I'll tell you what. We'll start with a little bit of WWE stuff. If you've been living under a rock, you would have obviously seen that Bobby Lashley is your new world champion. And, I didn't see it coming this soon. What about you, Duncan? I thought they were going to wait at least till Fastlane with this one.
I thought that initially. I'm like, yeah, it'll probably be Fastlane. And then the more I thought about it, the more it made sense to establish Lashley as just like a juggernaut, basically.
Right.
So I think that it was the right thing to do to have him win this past Monday. Whether or not having him win in such a squash style was necessary, that is something I'm sure we will get into. However, that being said, I am a fan of WWE champion Bobby Lashley.
Me too.
I'm a fan of the Hurt Business. I'm a fan of, give me all of it. I fucking love it. I love MVP as the mouthpiece. All of this makes me happy.
No, I'm with you completely. I think that, a lot of people are angry that The Miz isn't getting his due, that they think it's too soon. But let's be real, like we talked about last week, like we talked about earlier just now, The Miz is a 2-time now Grand Slam champion. He is not going to suffer. I think you made the good point. He's a first, ballot Hall of Famer without a shadow of a doubt. That guy is going into the Hall of Fame. No problem whatsoever. And I feel like this might not even be The Miz's last run with the title. He's still got a few years in him.
Apparently, he didn't even know that he was winning the fucking title when he showed up to the building that day.
Well, that does, I think, happen quite a lot.
Sure, of course it does.
I think they wait till the last minute to kind of decide what they're doing, whether that's for leaks or whether that's just them genuinely not really knowing how they're moving forward with storylines.
Absolutely.
That could go either way, but yeah, once again, Miz is gonna be fine, like you mentioned, and yeah, like it's the time for Lashley now. It's odd to me though too, because I still, in my heart of hearts, feel like they're doing this to put the belt on Drew at Mania. I think that's kind of the obvious assumption at this
It
point.
seems like the obvious assumption. In the chat, we do have a good question from Normal.
Oh,
Florida.
Norm. Hey, Norm. How's it going?
Yeah. One, he says that he once held the door open for Razor Ramon at a Chuluota 7-Eleven. Looked like absolute shit, but had the toothpick. Every time I've seen Scott Hall in person, he's had the toothpick.
Yep.
He had it when me and Matthew met him at All In. But he says, did the wrestling community embrace The Miz? I see him more of a reality star just from the real world and antics.
Well, yes and no. I think for a long time, no.
Yeah.
But within the past, especially the last, when was that huge run that they had him go on? A few years back.
Daniel Bryan,
Yeah.
like 4 years ago or
God,
something.
I can't believe it's been that long. But you've seen him really grow into. He's never going to be a wrestling fan's top choice as far as his in-ring work. He's very simple. He's very WWE style, and with that's fine. Sometimes it's okay to be that guy. Sometimes it's more just what the character presents. Miz never works really as a face. He is he's a born heel, and I think some of that comes from his past as being a being a reality star.
Real world.
Yeah, he was a heel on the Real World. He's been I actually don't mind of all those reality shows, and it is probably because I'm a wrestling fan, but The Miz and Mrs. is one of the more tolerable of those reality shows because you get to see a little bit more of his true personality behind the scenes. I'm a huge fan of Maurice, his wife, and yeah, I think that has also helped, the wrestling fans kind of see that, maybe he's not just a prick,
Dude, like the way I look at it, and I've had friends, is just like he is a lifelong wrestling fan, a kid from Cleveland who is getting the chance to live his dream, and I can't even be mad about that. And look, like if you watch Miz and Mrs., you see the house that he lives in.
Yep.
Right?
He's done pretty well for himself.
He has done very well for himself. From everything that I have heard, he's like a really nice guy.
Yep.
Backstage, right? Like he's like Miz knows his place, and he went from being the guy everybody wanted to kick out of the locker room to being sort of a locker room leader, you'd have to think at this point.
At this point, I mean, I don't know where you heard this, but is it true that he makes about $1 million a year through the WWE?
Well, I was just like sort of
guessing,
spitballing that, but it has to be, right? Like he's one of their top heels. He's been there for years. He's re-signed multiple times. And even if he doesn't make $1 million from WWE, he makes at least $1 million between that, Miz and Mrs., all of his appearances. Like
he's done quite a few commercials too over the years.
Yeah, like
wasn't he on that one? He was on another like game show thing that was like it was like a Wipeout type show.
Yeah, it wasn't. Was it the Go Big Show?
No, that's the one that Cody's. Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but I want to say it got canceled because someone died on it. Like I feel like I heard that.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was
Cannonball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like a woof kind of thing, right? Like it's unfortunate. You never want to see anything like that. But,
no, of course not.
But from it, dude, like if you want to see who the Miz is, look at his dad.
Oh yeah.
Because the Miz, like the older he gets, the more like his dad he becomes, and his dad is a grade A doofus dad.
Oh, he's hilarious.
And I love him.
Oh, he's hilarious. Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
when he got in the ring at WrestleMania and he
And
was
he's
all
doing,
squared up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So, like, even for that, like
Didn't he punch out Shane? Was it or Shane punched out him or something? Was
something,
I think it was
something like
Shane.
that.
It was that
I think
feud,
it was too, but god damn, it was good. Like, it was really good. So, I think I don't know. I think that a lot of fans, myself included, are behind Miz. He doesn't need the belt all the
No.
time. Like you know what? Like coming in and stealing Lashley's thunder and being a chicken shit heel and taking the belt the way he did and then getting absolutely smashed kind of serves the character.
Oh, I just thought of something. I just thought of we keep throwing about this. Oh, it's maybe Drew's time at WrestleMania to have his moment in front of the crowd, like we've said. But what if the Miz actually costs Drew in all of this? And because that would sort of work. And now you've kind of like set up something. I don't really want that triple threat, but you could do it.
Yeah, the rumors and innuendo that have been floating around is that Bobby Lashley has kind of teased a Brock triple threat.
What have I been saying?
Yeah, shut up. I mean, like, legitimately, you could bet. It's just like, well, I think that Hulk Hogan might make an appearance sometime as well.
Right.
Legends Night.
Legends Night, exactly.
Just so we know, the day after WrestleMania is Legends Night, aka Raw. So I don't know, man. Like I can see it going either way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think a triple threat with Lashley, Brock, and Drew helps anybody in that situation.
Could only kind of help Drew. I mean, it would really be the only.
It only kind of helps Drew because he would be pinning Lashley.
But you've only.
Oh, Wipeout. It was Wipeout, not Cannonball.
It was Wipeout. Okay.
So you were right.
Yeah, I guess. They're two very similar shows. Like they're
Wipeout, Cannonball, like. Well, dude, where's my car? It's all the same thing.
It is also weird with that one too, because whichever one it is that's on TBS, that's like the competitor. If that one is Cannonball, John Cena is now hosting that, which is bizarre to me because of course, the TNT AEW, and it's a Turner product, and like maybe Cena is just that big, of course, that he can get away with that, whereas a lot of other people can't.
I think Cena's that big.
I think you're probably right. Right. Talking about other things that are big, the Big Show, or Paul White, of course, has now signed with AEW. And this one was breaking news, I think, the day after we did our show.
Yes, of course it was.
Always happens.
Because we were talking about Tony Khan's press conference and him having like big things and blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with it.
I don't know if we're okay with it just because it's AEW and we're interested to see kind of how they utilize him. Like if it was, say, the Big Show had disappeared for a couple of years from WWE and they made it into this huge return, I think we would all be a bit underwhelmed because we would know how they're probably going to use him. No, the fact that they're maybe putting him on commentary, or
he'll have a couple of matches. Like, dude, we'll finally get the Big Show Shaq match.
And that's another thing, of course, that we've got Shaq on the show tonight and Paul White on the show tonight. For the first time on Dynamite. So how will that work? Will they could potentially set something up for down the road, at least have that, face off in the middle of the ring.
Start planting this, plant the seeds that have already been planted at a WrestleMania before.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you fucking just pull the trigger? Because honestly, dude, it'll bring in viewers. People still love Shaq. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking watched Shaq on Hot Ones, and I'm just like, I love this big doofus.
Oh, he's so much fun, and he's a very comedic character, man. He's a fun guy, and like totally a guy that we'd all like to have a beer with or whatever, you know? Like he's
Yeah.
one of those.
Dude, any video I see of Shaq just randomly picking up other people's babies, I'm just like, what the fuck
Yeah,
world do we live in? And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm Shaq. It's okay.
It's okay.
Look at this. I'll pick up this little white baby. It's going to be fine.
Did you see that? Big Show, or Paul White now, as he's going to obviously be known under his given name,
Yeah.
did you see the shirt that got released today?
I literally just saw it.
It's a pretty terrible looking shirt, but I like the phrase on it. What is
The
it?
no
Just
more BS.
no more BS. Like
I do kind of like that. Like it's
it fits.
it does fit. Although, like, dude, I get the emails about AEW's merch drops, and some of them I'm just like, that's stupid. But
Mhm.
I sent you one yesterday,
Yes.
and it's the creation of Orange.
Yeah.
It's like the Sistine Chapel where God is touching the finger of Adam, and it's just Orange Cassidy doing the thumbs up. I'm just like,
That's great.
God damn it.
No, that one's another one. It's like, oh, am I gonna have to buy that? Damn it. But yeah,
If they send it to Hot Topic and it goes on clearance, like the white one that I have, then I'll buy it.
Exactly. But the match tonight will be interesting with Shaq because, of course, I don't know if you heard this too. They're opening the show with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's Shaq with Jade Cargill versus Cody Rhodes
and,
Red
Velvet Sky?
Red
Red
Velvet.
Velvet.
Red Velvet. Who
Red Velvet Sky. Jesus Christ.
figure it out. But
I can't.
we talked either last week or the week before too about how they kind of fixed the women's division in AEW, and one of the things that we missed in this was Jade Cargill. And granted, I don't think she's had a match in AEW yet. I mean, if she has, it's been on Dark, but I think they've been waiting. I think they've been holding out on that for this match in particular. And I think we might. I don't know how good she is. I don't really know much about her. But I will say what I do know about her is holy fuck that physique. Like she is jacked as hell. And that might be somebody that they're looking to, start building the division around, or maybe not around, but at least making her a credible threat to, Sheeta or, Baker or whoever. I think we were all a little bit disappointed last week when, Baker didn't, beat Nyla Rose, but hey, that's
It just sort of brings
least
me
it's a
to the
twist.
conclusion of like, oh, so they're going to put the belt back on Nyla?
I mean, we'll find out right tonight. I think it's
Nyla and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, it's Nyla Thunder Rosa tonight, with the winner going on to face
Sheeta.
Sheeta at Revolution.
Look, I would love to see Thunder Rosa win.
But we've heard she's not signed though either to
Right.
AEW.
Exactly. And NWA is just like doing their big whatever the fuck they're doing.
Well, they
Like,
got
deleted.
they got a new distribution deal, so they removed all their stuff from YouTube.
Right.
And apparently they're going to be doing stuff on Fight TV, was what I read. I think that they're moving the show to Fight TV.
That seems right.
Which works.
Yeah, it works.
I'm fine with that.
It totally works. Like I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It's just like, okay. But it just, is it still going to be free on Fight TV? Do you have to pay for it?
That's a very good question. I don't know. I mean, their viewership, let's be honest, is going to go down dramatically if we've got to pay for it.
Correct.
That's just common sense. But it also is a platform that already has a lot of pro wrestling on it, and in its sense, if it was free and like advertised with other pro wrestling or what have you, it maybe could work. And maybe they could set up a deal where you get like AEW on Fight and NWA because of their partnership, and then maybe even something with Impact. Like if you did something like that, now we're talking.
Like a trifecta for $20 or something, 25. But see, I don't know, man. It's starting to get too complicated for me to keep up with where all the wrestling is. Because you got the email today, I'm sure, about the WWE Network moving to Peacock.
Weirdly, I didn't get the email, but I saw a copy of the email, which was doing the rounds on Reddit and everything. And I haven't
Yeah.
got that email yet, but yeah, it seems like that's an interesting update. Like, it seems like we're gonna have to do all the work ourselves. Like, they're not just gonna like transfer our accounts over to Peacock if you have WWE
No,
Network,
you have to create a Peacock account.
and then pretty much delete your
And then
WWE
I think
account.
cancel your WWE account.
It'll be fine for them in the long run, but I do think they'll have a fall off just because people don't like doing that shit, you know? And
Bro,
they'll-
I was looking through the Peacock lineup and I'm just like, I don't want to watch any of this bullshit.
yeah, there's not much on there for me really either. I guess if you're
What am I going to watch? The Jeff Foxworthy show from 1996? Like, come on.
I think a lot of people will do it, you know, for the movies. There's going to be a lot more movies on there. There's going to
They
be
have a bunch of shitty movies on there.
They do. I haven't looked at a ton of the lineup, but I know
I was bored and I'm like, all right, if I'm going to have to spend my money supporting NBC Universal,
which makes us mad in particular as former employees of the company.
yes, on a personal fucking level. It's just like, you cocksuckers.
But we can get the premium, which is like the version with ads, I want to say, for $4.99. So at least we're getting the WWE Network for less if we want to go with it that way.
But do I have to pay? Do I have to watch fucking ads in the WWE Network shows?
That's what I don't know.
Because if I'm paying $5 to watch the WWE Network, but I
Yeah.
have to watch ads, I will pay the $10.
I think I would too, especially with the documentaries and some of that stuff that we enjoy,
Yeah.
and like with pay-per-views and stuff too. How's that going to work? Because WWE has its own advertisers and its own ads that it runs during those shows. So is it going to be like doubling down? Like during a match, am I going to get a random, like here's a Peacock ad or something like that? It's I don't know. I don't think we've gotten enough information yet, to be honest, with how that's going to work. Back to the NWA thing a little bit. That's the only reason that I can see that maybe they do have Thunder Rosa win it. And that's kind of a red herring that Tony Khan said about her not being officially.
That she's not signed.
Right. Like, and they already do have a pretty good working relationship with AEW or NWA. So like the two of those things might be connected. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can buy Thunder Rosa as that champion.
I mean, I've seen Thunder Rosa as a champion before, so I could see her as a champion again.
Yep.
So I don't know. I like Thunder Rosa.
Me too. I'm a big fan. Fan. The other NWA news is that Nick Aldis, their champion, has been talking a little bit and released a few quotes about how he lives in Nashville. And a lot of the AEW guys that have been going to the tapings, the Impact tapings in Nashville, have been, coming around, and like he's like, yeah, a few of them we like have been coming around my house, like we've had a couple drinks like after the show or whatever, and how some of basically a lot of the Impact guys have said, wow, a lot of these AEW guys are kind of dickheads. Like they're
Really?
Yeah, they're and I don't know if that's in relation to maybe that whole like Sammy Guevara controversy that went around like a few weeks back.
Maybe.
But it sounds like there might be a little bit of like, oh yeah, we're AEW. We think we're better than the Impact guys, or
Let's be
like
honest. Do you think that's not true?
That. No, I believe it 100%.
I 100% think that's true.
I 100% think that's true.
I 100% think that anybody who works for AEW walks around that feels like their shit doesn't stink.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And then you got to think like, well, who's been going up there? I mean, it's like Sammy, of course.
But Sammy was up there for like a minute and then turned around and left. It's been Private Party and Matt Hardy.
Yeah. Which I could see the maybe Private Party being like cocky young kids. Maybe them. Maybe
oh yeah,
having
thinking
that.
they're bigger shits than they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
sort of in the way that the Bucks used to do back in the day
Uh-huh.
before the Bucks had established themselves as who and what they are. The man, who else has gone over there? Hasn't been.
I think
Hasn't been many
Jericho
people.
went up, but wasn't on TV.
Oh well, I can completely see Jericho
So
being a dick.
there's that one too.
Yeah. I don't think there's any. I think Jericho being a dick is par for the course.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Like I know we all love Jericho's in-ring work, but it's just like, oh, I'm pretty sure he's a terrible person.
Yeah, I was reading kind of a thread about that today, and it's one of these like, I'm having trouble. I love Jericho as a wrestler, but I'm really having trouble with him as like a human being and all that. We
Yeah.
struggle with this in all facets and forms of entertainment in general.
Yeah.
Can you enjoy someone's art without necessarily liking them as a person?
And you separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the real answer is it depends. It's not always cut and dry. It depends what that person's like beliefs and how severe they are, or how. I'm not going to be mad at somebody for just being a Republican, right? Or having a different political view than myself.
No.
But if you're using your platform, like if Jericho was on TV pumping, political
he has
view,
used his platform,
his
and you can't
podcast, and
say that his
social
podcast
media.
isn't a big platform, because
Yeah,
it
it is.
is.
But that's his
and
own
he's-
personal platform to a degree, and not necessarily like you can choose not to listen to that.
Yes, but also when Chris Jericho, the podcaster, and Chris Jericho, the on-screen personality, are very much the same in a lot of
Right.
ways.
Right.
That's where it becomes difficult to separate art from artist, because you listen to the Chris Jericho show, it's basically like you're listening to, it's like an hour or two of just Jericho being Jericho. So, and not for nothing, but he did donate $50K to the Trump campaign.
He did. He's also
So-
donated a lot of money to indie wrestlers that have gotten injured, and
He
done some
has,
decent
and
things
this
there
is
too.
where- And so it's just like, that's where you have sort of the like, you do a lot of scummy things, but then you do some good things, but do the good things outweigh the scummy things, and are the good things only done to try and outweigh the scummy things?
Right.
It then becomes like a snowball of trying to figure out shit, and I don't have time for Pepe Sylvia in my life. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult question.
but then there's some people, right? Like that we're just like, oh no, cut and dry, done with that fucking person.
Sorry.
So-
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at our Facebook chat. I apologize. I don't know who this person who is commenting, but they are saying, Mrs. Champion, would you open up the door for all challengers? Instead, now you're locked into the dominant clash of the bigger dudes. I think we kind of already addressed that. Miz doesn't really need the belt, and they could.
No, but I think that if you had kept Mrs. Champion, like, I think you would have opened the door for more feuds to sort of build more main event talent that you could then spread out.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And then the other question is, can we take a minute to compare the amount of memorabilia you guys have? Well, Duncan has far more memorabilia than I do, than I will probably ever have. And you are seeing the tiniest bit of a portion of what Duncan has. But yeah.
Before I had actually just earlier today have switched around the studio, but yes, I am looking at pop vinyls and signed 8x10s, and just like, I have this entire room is wrestling stuff. I've got championship belts and all sorts of stuff. I mean, to be fair, I am also like,
Yeah. How many wrestling tattoos do you have? You've got at least
1,
3,
2,
4?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
11?
11 wrestling tattoos. So that just tells you right there that what we're dealing with. I've got a belt, a cheap belt that Duncan even gave me. I've got a few wrestling figures, some in the package, some out of the package. I got some posters. I've got
Yeah,
a
there's a
ton
lot
of
of John
shirts
Cena
and
stickers
stuff.
that I've thrown about in that studio over the years.
Mhm.
Like, there's a Super Cena behind Owen.
Yep, there
That
is.
Yep,
I don't
which
know if
I
you can
also
see.
have
Yeah,
over here
the
on my
Super Cena
wall. Like,
there.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
it's night
we're
and day.
fans and we know it. And also, I spent 5 months in Mexico, so I got a bunch of masks and
Yeah, you
the
got like
fucking belt,
20
so
odd masks when you went to Mexico, didn't you? It was
I came back with 40.
40 goddamn masks, and you gave
And
me
then
a few of them.
and then I sent some to homies. You and Matthew both got some. So
Mhm. But yeah, thanks for asking.
yeah, appreciate that.
We'll move on a little bit to other kind of big news that revolves slightly around the Impact side of things. And that was that Enzo and Cass appeared on Good Brothers, Doc Gallows.
Lariato Pro.
Lariato Pro Wrestling. Which kind of, they have been working with a lot of Impact talent, that Lariato Pro. I know that for sure.
Yeah, they have an Impact banner ring skirt.
Oh, do they? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
they've got an Impact Wrestling ring skirt.
So it's almost like a bit. Yeah, I mean, there must be some working deal there, I would assume, between the
I think
two
there is. I think they
promotions.
might even be like
Almost-
filming some of it, not like high quality filming, but I think that some of it is.
Well, that's a good way for them to use it as almost a developmental for Impact.
Sure.
You know, why not? So Enzo and Cass going there, like I mean,
Well, Cass, first of all, Enzo came back, and like, yeah, Gallows is part owner of Lariato Pro, so obviously, like, he has a lot of pull with
mhm.
Impact, so it's easy for him to sort of work that now. But like, Enzo, I guess, was advertised to be there.
Oh, that I did not know.
Yeah, Enzo was advertised to be there. Was advertised to be part of the show.
And let's not forget, Enzo was also on Talking Shopomania 2. Can't remember.
He
it
was on
one
Talking
or-
Shopomania 1 too for a hot second.
Was he on one? I can't remember.
Yeah,
if
like
it
I
was
think
one or
he
two.
came out and he was because he came out and he was just like, Gallows isn't gonna make a dime. He's
Yep.
gonna lose his ass on this.
Yep.
And then yes, he was a part of Talking Shopomania 2. And dude, did you watch the video?
I have not seen the video. I've only seen pictures of how fucking swole and like jacked. Like, well, Cass has that weird thing where he looks in great shape but still kind of fat. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but he looked in better shape than he looked.
He's a big boy, right? Like he's definitely a big boy, and he has had his struggles, right? And okay, so like I saw some other people talk about this, and his tweet was, after a long journey filled with an enormous amount of self-reflection, I now start my journey towards redemption. Thank you at the Big LG for the opportunity, and thank you to everyone continuing to believe in me. Hashtag straight out of step 12. And they did not know what straight out of step 12 was.
Yeah.
'Cause
Which
I'm
is
like, you dumb Brits, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So straight out of step 12 is he's admitting that he has been working the Alcoholics Anonymous
12-step
substance abuse 12-step program.
Yeah.
And he has finished his step 12, and now he is ready to move forward. And honestly, man, if he got himself clean and he's been working the program, and he
Good
he
for
looks
him.
good.
Yeah, good for him. I'm willing to
It's
give
what he needs.
I'm willing to give him another chance.
Yeah, I don't need to see Enzo anymore.
Nah.
Like, I'm done with Enzo. Now I say that as like we didn't pop super hard for that stupid ass entrance.
We did.
Fucking time, and we did, and you can't teach that. And it's still, I'm just like, God damn it! I don't want to love it. I still kind of love it.
Oh yeah, I would still pop, honestly. And I know there was some pretty nasty allegations made against Enzo in the past too, but those all seem to have been dropped. So it's
There's a lot,
like,
dude, and that's a whole nother thing, right? Like all the allegations, some of them stick, some of them don't. Some of them people just seem to forget about. Some of them
yeah.
people like it's like, dude, it's very weird how selective wrestling fans have become when it comes to like, you know,
Who they're willing to forgive, who they're willing to not.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, we've got two big stories that kind of involve that. One of them being that as of last week, I think, again, the day after we did our show, there was a lot of talk of Marty Scurll being spotted at New Japan
at the
Pro Wrestling Strong taping.
New Japan Strong, yep, in California.
Well, you just sent me this right before the show, so I haven't time to read the whole article, but I saw the headline, and it teaches me enough to, or gives me enough to know kind of what's going on. Hit me with the long and the short.
So basically, what you got is New Japan Pro Wrestling severs ties with Marty Scurll following appearance at Strong tapings.
So that lasted long.
Yes.
And I'm guessing that's just probably because of the backlash that it got on the internet. And maybe, they thought it was a good idea and decided that maybe it wasn't a good idea.
Dude, I guess. Per sources, Marty Scurll will not be appearing on New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong or any other New Japan programs for the foreseeable future. That's from the Super J Cast on Twitter.
Right.
And it's like, wow. So the last time he wrestled was February of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been a year.
Wow, yeah.
And it's one of those things, right? So there's been several different ways of going about the whole speaking out movement.
Right.
Marty did a statement, went away. I don't know that it worked the way that he wanted it to work. Joey Ryan tried to stay relevant and then went away.
We'll get to
it's
that in just a second.
Oh, I know we will, but it's just like, man, that guy was a fucking complete and total scumbag about it. It's just like, nope, I didn't do anything wrong. And to show you how not anything wrong I did, I am gonna sue the women who fucking brought charges against me. It's like, you're a fucking dirtbag.
I think there were 7 women that have sued him, and that he countersued.
Yes.
3 of those countersuits have already been dropped. So,
right. Like one of the charges against him, one of the lawsuits against him was dropped.
Right.
So it's just like, it's a little bit here and there, but it's just like, who knew that the dick flip guy was going to turn out to be such a scumbag? And I should have known because I loved it so much. I'm like, nothing I love this much can
ever survive.
Can stay. No, I'm not allowed to love things like that because the pure joy of watching another man.
It was great for its time, and I mean, we both popped on it, but then again, it's just like, oh gosh, yeah, what a surprise that guy is the guy that
well, and like I do forget that he did have like one of his moves was the boob plex, right? Like they grab the girl by the boobs and then do a suplex with her. And it's just like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think
you wanted to believe that was all consensual and part of the fun of wrestling, and some of that very well might have been. But then it's the stuff that's outside the ring that you hear about, where it's just like, shit, like you are just a scumbag. And to prove that he's such a scumbag, it seems like that there have been 2 shows now that he's tried to start. 2 independent shows.
Oh, no, I didn't know. I knew about one. I didn't know about a second one.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in North Carolina in earlier this year, a couple months back. It was Big Swole talked about it. And this is what I think kind of got the whole ball rolling with this particular one getting canceled. This next one was going to be in March, which was... It was still under the banner of. They found out later down the road that it was basically under the banner of bar wrestling.
Bar wrestling, yeah, I did read that.
And they AEW were reportedly gonna have some talent on the show or had agreed to be on the show.
Dude, it was a pretty
And
good like list of people that they had too. Let me see if I can find it.
but you're gonna do a show for a women's charity after all these like allegations, and then it turned out that there wasn't much connection to any real charity, that he would like it, that it all was kind of just a very vague, like, oh, it's gonna be for, you know, women or what have you, and
Yeah.
like, come on, guy, like,
Yeah, it's like how and or why the hell
The-
do you think that that's a good idea?
the way I read the article too, Duncan, was it sounded like that once AEW caught wind that it was Joey Ryan and Bar Wrestling, they were like, absolutely not.
Yep.
You guys are not going. Sorry, like, we know we have this deal with you that like you can do independent bookings and everything, but we do not
But
want
not for this guy.
Not
We
for
do
this
not-
guy.
Like he literally tweeted out, if Joey Ryan is involved, none of my talent will be. He's like, I'll still donate to the charity.
right. But
But then there's just like they couldn't even figure out if the charity was
Existed.
a legit charity.
yeah. Yeah, that was okay. So we're on the same page. We must
Yep.
have read the same stuff.
Dude, like some of the people that they had there, like Brian Cage, Carlito, Rhino.
Oh wow, Carlito was gonna do it, huh?
Yeah, Gangrel, Too Cold Scorpio, fucking Eric Harper. That's just like the half of the thing that I can see. So-
Wow.
and Fight TV was going to be airing it, and yeah. And the quote was, "We apologize for riling everyone up. It is clear that we're in over our heads. We'll say that everybody booked was fully aware of all details, including going through AEW's third-party booking system for talent. Rather than put talent in a tough situation, we've canceled the show." And then they
Basically,
deleted
you
that
found
tweet.
out it was me, Joey Ryan.
Yes.
That's
Who like last week uploaded a video of every boobplex he's ever done to his like YouTube page. It's just like, bro,
that's gonna help you.
you're not really doing yourself any favors here, man.
No.
Like,
No. Oh, switch gears a little bit because one of the questions.
talk about something that isn't depressing.
Right,
or are we doing something
right,
More
right.
depressing.
Well, no. A question from Deuce on our Facebook group that sort of relates to what we were, what we were talking about earlier. Do you think we will have any big surprises for Revolution? Maybe Big Cass and Enzo show up. How would you feel about them joining AEW, and what do you think their future moves are? I don't see them in AEW.
I don't really see them in AEW either. I can see them in
Impact. Yep.
because remember a couple of years ago at the Madison Square Garden Ring of Honor New Japan show,
That's right.
they like Ring of Honor tried to pull a fast one and have them show up and like be in the mat, like cause a fracas
Ruckus
at
in the crowd, and then they hopped the
Yeah.
barrier and everything, right?
yeah. So there was all of that hubbub, and
Which turned out to just be a work at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it
it
was
was
a work that they didn't-
presented as a shoot, I think.
yeah, because they didn't tell any of the boys about it.
Right. It's fine if you don't tell any of us as the audience, but if you're
Yeah,
not
don't
telling,
tell us.
yeah, don't tell us. It's better
Fucking
that
tell
way.
your talent.
But tell your talent that this is happening. Otherwise, yeah, that's a bad
Dude, like,
idea.
what some of those guys, like, what if Tama Tonga would have just came over there and just like
Destroyed
channeled
him.
his dad and fucking like bit the dude's nose off or something?
It could have happened. It could
I
have
mean,
happened.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have loved to see that, but I mean, I'm really looking forward to the Bullet Club versus Bullet Club feud that's inevitably gonna happen. But
Yes. And I do think that'll happen. And we should talk a little bit actually about New Japan, because they've done some interesting things lately. New Japan, it seems like they've united, right? The belts that Kota
they're
Ibushi
unifying.
has.
They're unifying the two big titles,
The
So, yeah,
Intercontinental
Ibushi-
and the heavyweight, right?
It's the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP Intercontinental
Okay.
Championship.
Yep. All right. Good. Yep.
So one's the black belt, one's the white,
White
belt.
belt.
The white belt is the one that Omega had for a while, and then Naito had for a while,
Yep.
and he just like destroyed the shit out of it.
Both
and
of them,
treated it
such
like-
pretty belts, by the way.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful belts. I'm really excited to see what their unified title will look like.
Yeah, why do you think this is happening?
That is a very valid question.
Because I don't watch enough New Japan to understand the point of it. Were these the same two belts that Evil had
Yes.
not too long ago? Okay.
So they've been there, yeah, like a year something ago. There was somehow they ended up having a match for both belts, and so now every time it's been like the match has been for both belts. So in my mind, I think it's just so that they can just have one title instead of the two. Maybe they'll
do they introduce another mid-card title? And
that's what I was gonna say, but like,
but why? Yeah, but I don't know. Like,
but their Intercontinental isn't like our Intercontinental.
It's not seen
like,
as a mid-card belt. It's seen much higher than that.
Both of those belts are seen as top tier belts. And I think that's why ultimately they're doing it, is to have one belt. It's the one ring to rule.
Right.
You know, it's just like, we've got all these other belts, but just so you know, there's no argument between like, oh, well, this Intercontinental champion and this heavyweight champion. It's like, nope. The heavyweight champion, like, you are the champion.
And if the collector Kenny is going around collecting championships, it makes it a little bit easier too to maybe have him take that from Ibushi.
But dude, I don't see New Japan creating a new title just so Kenny can take it and bring it back to America.
Yeah, I mean, it would make more sense for him to maybe get what I would assume is going to be New Japan Strong's major title with their U.S. championship. Wouldn't it make more sense for Kenny to win that if there's a partnership between those two promotions?
Yeah, I would think so.
Because
another him and Moxley match.
Moxley still has it, right?
Yeah, he retained against Kenta. Which I'm like, okay. I haven't been watching enough New Japan to really know what's going on. My boy Brody King is still killing it, so that's all I really know. But fucking like, dude, it's hard.
It's hard. Well, it's hard to watch. I mean, with everything that is going on, with all the wrestling that already exists in our homeland, it's hard to keep up with, with New Japan. But it does sound like they are getting they're in talks with multiple U.S. TV providers, including Axis was the big one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe it'll get a little bit easier to watch. I know they've got their like Roku channel right now that's airing some of the older New Japan strong stuff, I want to say. So they're making.
I think they're putting Strong up on their YouTube, maybe.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that. It might be just on their own app, or it might be.
Could be.
Or it's. I mean, I'm sure it's on their own app, but that could be a place like Axis would seem like a place where that would fit.
I used to fucking get it on Access when I lived in Colorado.
Yeah, we just don't really get it. Most cable providers don't have it down here.
Right. It was a miracle that I had it for some reason. I was just like, oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's good to see that New Japan's making moves, and I think that I would like to see. I think we all want to see that kind of crossover between New Japan, AEW.
I want to see crossover between everything. Like,
yeah. At this point, why not? The doors have been kicked wide open, so
yeah,
it makes a ton of sense. Makes a ton of sense to go that route. We'll switch to a little bit more of, I think, AEW stuff. Well, actually, no. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit of NXT, because there's some big news coming out with NXT.
Rumors and innuendo.
Yeah, and I don't mind it. It's, to me, the big news was, of course, that it's not news, it is a rumor, but it sounds like NXT might indeed be moving to Wednesday nights.
Yep.
And it's going to be better for everyone. It's going to be better for both companies. It's going to be better for wrestling fans as a whole. Yes. Kind of feel a little bit bad for Impact because their show is on Tuesdays, so it might affect their ratings, I would assume, more than it would anybody else's.
Well, apparently they just had their lowest rated show ever.
Impact or NXT?
Impact. Yes.
Impact. That's a shame. It's a shame. It's maybe some of that buzz wearing off from the AEW stuff.
If you don't have the AEW or New Japan wrestlers showing up to do stuff, I'm not like, dude,
Yeah.
okay. I love the wrestlers who are busting their ass on Impact, right? Like Deonna Purrazzo, the Good Brothers, but you've seen a lot of people jumping ship lately,
Yeah.
which really made me wonder why the Good Brothers went there in the first place.
Must have been just a big contract, I think.
It had to have been a big payday.
Yeah.
And, like obviously they have allowances to let them do other things. They were probably they probably knew they were going to put the titles on them right away.
Yep.
But it's just like, man,
what could have been maybe if they would have just gone straight to AEW. Like that, let's be real.
yeah. I
mean,
think so.
But then again, you wouldn't have had such an easy way to get Kenny Omega and Callis and the Good Brothers together on Impact. It might have, you could have still probably done it, but it made was very
Callis,
cohesive.
It was a very, it just makes me wonder how much of that they all planned out together beforehand, or if it just were happy accidents.
Fell into place somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, the Don Callis, Kenny stuff, I think, has been in the works. They've talked about it. They think, that
they've been wanting to work together forever. Like, Callis has been the biggest Kenny Omega fan for years.
He was trained by his uncle and all that stuff. And
exactly. So, they go back, and Callis is a brilliant wrestling mind, too.
He is.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the same as, all these guys. Like, Russo had some good ideas. Not every single one of them was a fucking hit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? In the same way that not everything Vince does is a hit. Not everything
Tony does is a hit.
Does a hit. Yeah. So I love that there's a Booker of the Year award. It's just like, okay, how long has that even been necessary?
Is that Wrestling Observer? Was that? I think it was.
I don't know.
I think it was. I think it was the Observer.
Is.
I'm pretty sure it was. Tony Khan getting Booker of the Year, that type of thing. I take that.
It doesn't bother me.
It's tongue in cheek. It is what it is. It's fine.
It's fucking wrestling.
It's wrestling.
It's like at midnight. Points don't matter.
Yes. But with NXT moving to Tuesdays, a lot of course, AEW marks have been like, the war's over. WWE's conceding defeat. And I really don't think that that's the case at all. I think it's a business move for a multitude of reasons. And I even texted you today when I was looking at that article and I was kind of reading through it. And part of the stuff that I've heard is that, and I know this to be fact, the NHL, the National Hockey League, has signed a multi-year deal to have basically hockey on Wednesdays. So if you've got hockey on Wednesdays taking up all that, valuable time, then it's logical that you do have to change your day for NXT for just business purposes in that sense. And I'm sure the NHL it's probably a damn big contract. So USA's just probably said to them, hey, you're not getting the best of numbers. AEW is winning most weeks. You'll probably get more numbers. We'll get more views if
they get more. And it's been proven that is the way it works, right? Because anytime that one of them has had to move to a non-opposing night,
there's been a few occasions of that. Yes. You're right. Yeah,
and both of them have done better numbers on those nights,
absolutely,
than they do when they're head to head. Like, there's not enough people watching TV the way that they were in the late 90s, early 2000s in the Monday Night Wars for you to even try and compare it. Just fucking worry about putting out a good product that your fans will get. That, dude, I can get a friend of mine into wrestling. I already know, every friend of mine, just know if you're a friend of mine, I probably have a lane that I can get you into wrestling if you give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
I got a person, I got a match, I got a storyline, I got something that'll fucking get you.
Yep.
And next thing you know, you're just like, oh, fuck you. I just bought $30 worth of WWE shit on clearance. And
exactly.
I'm like,
That's what happens.
There you go.
That's what happens.
Welcome.
But at that same token, like yeah, we don't watch like they counter, book each other's shows. Like they counter produce like
Yes.
this whole thing is like if you it used to be that once upon a time with the Monday Night Wars on commercial breaks you could flip over to one or the other and there would be something on and it was easier to just be like last channel previous or whatever, right?
Right.
You like bounce back and forth. Now it seems like it's almost deliberate as to like they've studied how they sort of like how long their first match is going to be or how long this segment's going to be.
Oh,
They've
they have
studied
it
their
all-
segments so that
Yeah.
when AEW goes to break, you flip over and NXT is also on its commercial
On a
break.
break,
So
yeah.
it makes it very, very difficult to flip back and forth. Like no one's really doing picture in picture anymore, apart from JR.
Except for WWE.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, you can't have that whole thing working. So it's like I don't know. Really, it's gonna be better for NXT in the long run. It might take a bit of a hit, but it's gonna be better for both promotions.
Yep.
Again, Impact might
Will be
suffer,
better
but
for- even if you just set aside numbers, it will be better creatively.
Yeah.
For both shows to be able to just worry about running their products and having a show.
and it will be very, very interesting to see the comparisons of those numbers week to week to see who had the better show because it's
Yeah.
not in direct competition with each other week to week. Like you're going to have obviously more on both sides, but it's going to be a lot more telling as to who really had the better show, I think, at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to that in a sense. Sticking with NXT, what's next for Cole and the Undisputed Era? Because we just saw, obviously, a big turn, and I imagine it's kind of waiting now until the next takeover, which has been announced for the Thursday prior to
Which
WrestleMania.
has been leaked as the Thursday prior because it's not really officially announced. It's people going to cancel their WWE
Yep.
network subscriptions to switch over to fucking Cock. And they're like, but if you cancel, you'll miss this. I'm like, but you dumb shit, I have to cancel so I can move over to fucking Peacock because you decided you wanted to do that.
Yeah, exactly. We were fine.
Assholes. I was fine with it. God damn it.
Yeah, so I don't really understand the logic of why WWE's doing that, but I understand the Peacock deal, but why they're like announcing all these things, like you understand why we're canceling right now. Like we're canceling because you've told us that we have
Because
to cancel.
in 15 days is when it starts taking over. So why wouldn't we just be ready?
I think
Most of us have already paid through the month anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait now. I'm gonna wait until basically it's like until we get to WrestleMania. WrestleMania will be my first, event on Peacock. Like that will be my first, because it's the only way to get it at that point, right? So like I'm gonna wait through this month, and then the following month, then I'll cancel, and then whatever it is, what it is. But with having, I mean, that's gonna be a crazy ass, weekend and schedule because Thursday takeover, Friday off, Saturday, Sunday, WrestleMania. Also, they've said they're doing the Hall of Fame this year. Do they do? I mean, I guess they can't with Friday being SmackDown. They're not going to you're not going to counter,
Tuesday.
Yeah, it would probably be the Tuesday, right? Or
I think it would have to be the Tuesday.
or the Wednesday before, which seems like that doesn't.
But then you're doing
seem-
it before NXT TV.
Unless they change the NXT thing to Tuesday really soon and already have it on Tuesdays by then.
No, it's April 13th that supposedly it goes into effect. So it's after
Mhm.
WrestleMania. So what
Right,
I would
right.
think they would do is that they would instead the go home show for Takeover for NXT will be the Wednesday before. And then the week of Mania will be Raw on Monday, nothing on Tuesday, Hall of Fame in NXT's TV slot on Wednesday,
That's a good point.
Thursday Takeover, Friday SmackDown, Saturday Sunday Mania, Monday.
Monday, right.
Monday, then Tuesday, then Friday. You know what I mean? So
Sure. So Cole, I mean, there's obviously stuff going on with him and Balor. There's been Kyle O'Reilly stuff with, him and Balor, but they've just kind of done all of that, and Balor's retained. So do they put Cole in the program with Balor? Do they just have Kyle O'Reilly versus Cole, which is sort of probably what I'm thinking
I think they do
goes
Kyle versus Cole.
at that takeover?
Yeah.
That would make the most sense. Then who do you throw at Balor? Who is that? I can't even see.
Karrion Kross.
Yes. Yeah, it probably
That's
is.
who you throw at Balor.
And
that's who you have decimate Balor.
He has to beat Balor at that point, really, doesn't he?
Oh no, he's going to beat Balor.
Yeah.
But
those are two matches I'm down for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if that's the way they're going with Takeover, that's already something it's exciting, and I kind of like. I mean, I'm sad to see the Undisputed Era go, but I'm glad they didn't just move them all up to the main roster and waste them. Like, I'd rather it be this way around and keep them on NXT, all of them, for a little bit before moving any single one of them up.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they're all very strong on the NXT brand, and I don't know that you need to move them to the main roster to just have them get lost in the shuffle with the hundreds of other wrestlers that are already there. And there's so many good programs that are already built in because of how long they've been in NXT. Not only can they feud with each other multiple times in multiple ways, but they can also feud with all of these other people that they've feuded with is a stable, but now you can have one-on-one matches.
Well, even Cole Balor, after he drops the title, you don't need that to be a title match. They've like that's something they could easily do down the road.
It just begs the question of, like, does Balor stay in NXT? Does Cole stay in NXT?
Right. Maybe after the end of that feud, they bring one of them up or something.
Dude, maybe they don't even put the belt back on Kross. Because Kross could just go back up to he could go
main roster.
He doesn't need the title necessarily again, as long as he keeps murking motherfuckers like he did to Santos Escobar.
Yeah. No, this is all a very good point. I know we both are a huge fan of Cameron Grimes.
Fucking goddamn, do I love Cameron Grimes.
He's another one that I could actually see working on the main roster. They would.
Dude, you give him that? Yeah, like give him the $1 Million Man rub. Like let him be the redneck $1 Million Man. I fucking love it. Nothing about it that I don't love.
Can we just bring back Ted DiBiase and have them be together? Like at this point, like it would be.
I mean, we could. He was cutting heel promos on Ted DiBiase on last week's NXT.
Yeah, he was.
But it would be. If ever there was a time to bring back DiBiase and the $1 Million belt,
this is it.
I absolutely think this is it. You don't want it to be taken seriously like they tried to do with Steve Austin and the Ringmaster.
No.
But if you do it like
Cameron Grimes is the perfect person with the goofiness he has with this gimmick right now, that it would work.
Absolutely. And I think that it's almost like he'd be White Virgil that didn't know that he was the butt of the joke.
Right.
And how is that not hilarious?
No, I'm in with that. I mean, it's just kind of a random thought, but
yeah,
I had a kind of a high thought the other day too. And
okay, I have those quite frequently.
Yeah. And it relates to NXT. Right, it relates to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally I wrote it, and I'll read it exactly as I wrote it. If Velveteen Dream wasn't a shitbag, him and Shin would make a good tag team.
Okay. I don't see Velveteen Dream as being a tag wrestler though. Like I just don't see that as his character. It's not really
Yeah.
his gimmick.
I guess
I
kind
mean-
of the androgynous sort of thing, right? Mixed with
Yeah,
the
but Shin's not
eccentricities of Shin. Like,
okay.
you
I
know,
was gonna
like
say,
it's
I could see that,
like an
but
eccentric kind of. I don't know. I just felt like it would work for some reason.
I mean, it would have worked if he wasn't
Right.
a grooming pedophile.
Right.
So
Is the time for Velveteen done? Like, what do you think with that? Are they? I mean, it's.
I fucking hope so.
I don't understand how he kind of still has a job of all of them, really, like from that speaking out movement. And
I really, really think that WWE think that they're going to be able to pull a Matt Riddle with that
to
one.
beat that one.
Not necessarily beat it, because Riddle hasn't beaten anything.
No,
It's just that like he owned up to his shit. and he
let
was
it
just like,
maybe let it die down, or so, I don't
Well,
know. What
no,
they're
but, like,
thinking.
Riddle-
Yeah.
Riddle didn't even do that. He was just like, yep, no, I totally fucked this chick, but it was all consensual. My wife knows about it. We're still, still together, whatever. And then she countersued, but I don't believe it's gone anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So WWE was just like, no, we're going to ride this one out. And I really think that they think that Velveteen can do the same, and it's just not going to happen.
I don't think so either.
Velveteen's was way more severe, bro.
Yes.
Like
yes. I mean, we're talking
fucking
underage
ruined-
boys here, right?
underage, like
Boys
children.
and women.
Yeah, like no,
Boys and-
not men and women, boys and
Boys
girls.
and girls. That's
Yes.
the best way to put it. Yes.
So it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, and he's still a kid too. He's like 26 or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, he's pretty young.
Just like, man, you can't. I don't know. I'm glad that, and I think most everybody is glad to see Velveteen hasn't made any sort of appearances or anything. And like every time, like when we went to NXT, when I went by myself, like I didn't ever see him out in the crowd, like
Right.
over in the talent pod or anything like that. So like maybe
They're
he's
definitely
there,
hiding
maybe he's
him.
not.
They're definitely hiding him. They're definitely,
Yeah.
if nothing else, they're keeping him off TV.
I just wonder if he's like maybe he's doing the PC live shows, like maybe he's doing
yeah.
non-televised stuff, but I honestly don't know. But I hope that his time is done because it should be.
Yep. We're in full agreement there. Moving on, though, to Riddle, who we just mentioned, of course, the recent U.S. title holder, getting beaten on Raw. It was on Raw this past week, wasn't it? He actually got beaten clean in a non-title match by
After the worst looking whatever the fuck move it was.
Mustafa Ali. I think I did it right for once.
Sure.
I think I
Dude,
did it right. But yes, that was a weird. That was a weird botch.
Ali.
That was a weird botch. I don't know what was meant to happen there. Like
It was like some sort of weird top rope
backstabbery
back meteora thing. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And it looked like he goddamn near broke Riddle's neck.
It didn't look good. It didn't look
Did
good.
not look good.
And this
I
is
was like-
Ali, who has been pretty tremendous as of late.
Ali is great. Retribution is not.
He's also
mean,
wrestling. Ali's also wrestling with an injury right now. He confirmed.
Well,
PCL, I want to say, or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't PCL a construction company in town?
I'm sure it probably is. I don't know. I don't know my body parts that well.
ACL, LCL.
I don't think it was an
MCL.
ACL. I know that one, but yeah, he confirmed.
I think MCL is Casey Catanzaro, what she's got going on right now.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is, but unfortunately, so that might have played into it, and it
And
did.
maybe don't try and do ridiculous bullshit off
Sure.
the top rope.
Yeah, maybe that.
Maybe. I'm just throwing that one out there. See if it sticks.
That could be a cool feud, though. Riddle and Ali.
Riddle and Ali or Riddle and Retribution?
Yeah, that is the question, isn't it? I don't need Riddle and Retribution. Riddle and Ollie without Retribution, I'm fine with, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, and okay, while we're on the topic of Retribution, can we either go more in on it or break them up?
Just make them a comedy act. I keep saying it. Just do it.
I know, and I do agree with it, especially with the way that fucking T-Bar and
Yeah.
Slapjack, like, dude, the Twitter game is so strong on that. It's just like, why don't you let them talk?
Play into that. Into that.
Have the rest of Retribution turn on and fire Ali.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Right?
saves him a little bit because he's so much, got so much potential. Really, like he does.
He really does. He really, really does. And like you think about the fact that Ali was gonna get that championship match that Kofi ended up getting, but he got hurt, and just like the way things would have been otherwise. So I want to see Ali succeed, but I think that if you take him out of Retribution, and that would by default turn him face, I think that you could probably get more out of him. Don't make him the generic baby face that he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't do that again. But I think that there's I think that there's a way to do it if you do it right. And then there's a way to make Retribution feel like something instead of pancake face.
Yeah, and instead of just jobbers every week, like if you're going to be jobbers, have them be comedic jobbers.
But even when they win matches, they're still jobbers.
Yeah, which is tough to do. I don't even know how you pull that with booking, but it's...
I don't either. It's very impressive when you really think about it.
I mean, if that is the actual goal, then they're succeeding.
They're doing a really fucking good job, but I don't think that is the goal, which means they're doing a terrible job.
I 100% agree.
God damn it.
We mentioned Nakamura, or I did a little bit ago as well. And some Twitter, I think it was a Twitter exchange went down where a fan was speculating on, oh no, basically saying
he's happy. He's totally happy.
Yeah, say he's totally happy.
He makes money.
Yeah. Nakamura fires back with basically, who says I'm happy in the WWE?
He didn't say in the WWE. He just said, who says I'm happy? He's like, don't believe anything unless it's what I say.
Which, more power to him for being that way. I kind of respect that. Yeah. And it does, we've said it all along. I don't think that Shinsuke Nakamura ends his career in America or the WWE.
I don't either.
I think the natural thing for him to do would be to end his career in New Japan, where there is so much more potential. He can go out on his back for a Bushi, or I mean, like, the list is probably pretty endless. I mean,
he's still young enough to have a top run in Japan.
He is.
Too.
Yep, he is.
So I don't want to see him be squandered the way he, like, dude, thing that's driving me crazy with WWE right now, aside from everything, is the
how long do we have?
Well, I mean, not that long, but the start and stop pushes with everybody.
Cesaro, Shinsuke,
Daniel Bryan. I guess sort of Big E. Like, what are we doing with him? Like,
I mean, Ali to a degree as well.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm sort of all about this new Apollo.
Haven't got there yet with that, because I do like what they're doing with Big E. I love the segments where he sat next to the ring with his foot in a goddamn bubble bath and sitting on his own little couch and like.
Oh, I think that's great. But I'm just saying, like, the heel, like this new version of Apollo, like where they're sort of taking that. I'm like, okay, I like it. It's sort of like the African Del Rio, but.
Oh yeah, that's a decent comparison. I hadn't thought about it like
minus
that.
the kidnapping and sex abuse.
Right, yeah. It's just yeah.
Right. But I mean, I think it's got legs. And I think heel Apollo
I'll
is
give
going
it-
to work better than
Then
face Apollo.
It's Apollo. I'll give it a shot. I'm not there yet. I'm not willing to quite say that yet. I'm not. I'm yeah. I feel like there is potential, and I do think that there's like, even though the Big E and him have had several matches on Raw and stuff, there could be a bigger feud down the line for the two of them as well. I feel like that
Yeah,
could-
and I don't think that you should put I don't think that you should put Apollo over Big E, but I just think that this is a good character direction for him on a roster that's sort of lacking, I guess, mid-card heels.
yeah, it is.
So-
it is.
So I don't know. I'll be interested to see what Big E ends up doing at Mania.
I saw this posted. I'm not going to take credit for this idea earlier today, or at all, rather. Sorry, but yeah, got my words all fucked up there. But could someone, and possibly even Big E, be the person to bring back the 5 count? You remember the 5
He used
count?
to do it.
Did he used to do it back
He
in
used
like
to do it
the
in- yeah, he
FCW
used to do
days
it
or
in,
something, or NXT?
And NXT.
See, that would. I mean, I guess you kind of got to be heel to do it.
Yeah.
It's definitely more of a heel move.
Oh, dude, I mean, like, nobody's more heel than King Kong Bundy.
Right. But even if it's not Big E, I feel like someone could adopt that quite nicely.
Yeah.
Strowman?
Dude, but how do you do it?
Strowman might be the wrong example just because of how they've handled Strowman, but
Honestly, it's like Big E used to do it. It's kind of hard to bring it back on the main roster as long as Big E's around, because then it definitely feels like that's total gimmick infringement,
right? Which is
'Cause then
gimmick
it's just like-
infringement on gimmick infringement, so it's sort of, I don't know, 2 negatives? I don't know.
Do 2 negatives make a positive?
yeah. In wrestling,
So-
maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it depends on who you want to have do it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing is, I can't do Braun is we'd have to do a whole episode about Braun to just talk about the fuckery of that, and then like
It seems like they had it tailor made. Like it was pretty simple. Like it was. They've
then
they've
they
forgotten
fed him-
how to build monsters. Like
dude, they fed him to Bobby Lashley, and
yeah.
now I don't know what to think about Braun.
Well, Braun's
Like, there's only
Braun's gonna
so
have a
many
match
time-
with Shane McMahon and get beat by Shane McMahon.
Yes, I know,
That's what to think about.
I know.
Braun.
I know. And Damian Priest
Unfortunately.
and Bad Bunny are gonna beat Miz and Morrison. More specifically, Bad Bunny is going to pin the Miz.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. That's
But I think that will also be the day that he loses the 24/7 championship.
back to R-Truth, or I mean,
I mean, it has to be, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, at this point, it's the R-Truth, memorial belt, isn't it? It's the
Yeah, it's the R-Truth Heritage Belt.
heritage belt. There you go. That's a better way to put it.
Dude, I wish that they would rebrand it and like it had fucking like R-Truth's hair.
Or just says
Coming
like
up.
"What's up" on it or something.
Yeah, dude, like give me some ridiculous, like you see all the other ridiculous belts that they put on WWE Shop. Like give me an R-Truth belt.
It's a joke of a belt anyway. It doesn't matter. Like that's why we're fine with Bad Bunny having it. It's good crossover promotion. I understand what they're doing.
I don't give a shit.
I
Yeah,
know
I've never.
If it was the goddamn Intercontinental Championship, I might be a little bit perturbed that Bad Bunny was rolling around with it. But since it's fine, and you know what, he seems like not my style of music. Whatever, don't really care for the guy, but at least
Apparently
he's
we're
a
the
big
only
fan.
country. Yeah, apparently we're the only country in the world that doesn't get
Doesn't get
Bad
it.
Bunny too, because he's like a quadrillion.
Yeah.
So like cool, good, and it's great for the WWE. Brings new eyes in. It's gonna build Damian Priest faster than he would have been otherwise. So
They're actually doing a really good job with that. I can't believe it, but it seems like they're actually doing a really good job with Damian Priest.
I got sent a meme earlier from a friend of ours, and it was literally I gotta find it because it was so good. It was or maybe you said, did you send it to me? It's like, if
I don't
this
think it
is
was me.
no, it wasn't you. It was this morning. It says Big E tweeted out. It said, if all these rappers versus wrestler beefs are a clever ploy to bring back a Def Jam Fight for New York style game, I'm all in.
Oh, dude, you've been talking about that game since we started Ono Wrestling.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and I'm just like, I should have never got rid of my fucking GameCube or those games. God damn it, because now they're
and I've
impossible
never
to find
played
these.
that. And I've never
Dude, they are-
played it.
Look up some YouTube videos, get nice and toasty later,
Yeah.
and look up YouTube videos of Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York, and you're just gonna be like, that's
What?
amazing.
Yeah, I will need to. I will need to absolutely do that. And kind of speaking like to this next question, because I put Damian Priest on this list. Who do you think is going to be in 2 years a headline star that we don't have right now? That's either in the mid card or someone even on NXT, someone that they're just trying to build slowly as a headline entertainer in the main event picture in 2 years.
Well, I mean, obviously, in 2 years, you're gonna have the champion Cirque du Sommelier.
Well, yes,
Obviously,
Reggie for
yeah,
sure.
I think Reggie has gold potential written all over him.
All kidding
no,
aside, he will hold a belt. Like, I don't know if he's ever
all
gonna.
kidding aside, he will be a talent for as long as, you know, he's got the right attitude for it.
He does.
So and and the most important thing, he's still very appreciative to be there. So, and he's homies with Ricochet. So
There you go.
how
There you
can
go.
you go wrong? 2 years.
2
2
years.
years. Dude, I
Big
think
E's on that list, right? If not sooner.
Big E's on that short list. I think Adam Cole has
That's a good
potential for,
good shout.
man, if you put Adam Cole in a feud with Seth Rollins,
Ooh, that has money on it.
yes.
I
So
want to say two names, but I don't. I'm just scared because of how they've been booked prior. But Aleister Black and Ricochet, like I think that that's the possibility in 2 years. But it's
dude, I really hope that that Aleister Black is a thing in 2 years. I feel like yeah, Cross. Is 100%, like, because, dude, like, Aleister Black was the guy, and then Cross came in and they're like, look at this shiny new toy.
Yeah.
And now Aleister Black's just kind of over here.
Well, what is that? We don't even know where Aleister Black
Dude,
is.
I don't even know if Aleister
They forgot
Black
him in
goes
that
to
they
TV.
forgot him in that closet months ago. Like, he's still stuck in
Right.
there. And
Like, I don't know if he goes to TV every week or what, but, like, it's just sad to see, because I would love to see Aleister Black, but if it's gonna be anybody, yeah, Cross. Like, Cross is a definite. Like, dude, Cross will be main event, and, like, big time main event in 2 years for sure.
About Andrade. Another one that's in that same category is
I want it.
Black and Ricochet.
I want it, but if Charlotte Flair couldn't get a storyline
I
that
heard
she
that.
pitched for him over and, like, approved, I don't think there's fucking hope for Andrade.
Yeah, maybe until the
I
English
don't
just
think
gets
there's
there.
hope for La Sombra.
La Sombra, is that his mask
That's his mask.
from back in the day? I didn't know that one. Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
He
nice.
wears the pendant with it. I think he used to come out in NXT. He used to, like,
yeah, he
wear it.
did, and then take it off when he got to
Yep.
the ring. Yep.
Yep. So that
I got one that might not be 2 years, might be a little bit longer, but I just see it every time he wrestles, and I see it every fucking promo. I think Montez Ford is a future heavyweight
Yeah.
champion. I think he's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be in
yeah.
the main event picture.
and Johnny Wrestling.
No, I don't think. I think he's destined to stay in NXT. Weirdly,
I think that Ciampa will stay in NXT because he has no interest in going up to the main roster.
Right.
But dude, Gargano is just such a good everything.
I want to say yes. And as much as we've gotten away from like the stereotypical size thing with, with wrestlers these days becoming top stars, Johnny is real small. And I do think it still exists to a certain degree. I think he would struggle on the main roster to get out of that upper mid card level. I don't know that he would ever find.
It's true.
To reach
It's
that
true.
level.
It's just sad. I mean, honestly, I do think that if they keep trying to separate NXT as its own brand and not as developmental, then I will be fine with like those people that want to stay in NXT for their entire career. You know what I mean? Because they're still going to be treated as they'll have a presence at the big shows. Like they have their own takeover events. So they have their own pay-per-views. WrestleMania, they'll be presented. So I think as long as they keep sort of pushing away from, it's our developmental league, to sort of it being like
its own brand type thing.
It's our third brand. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's okay. And I like the fact that it's not treated, it doesn't look like the other two major brands. It's not treated like the other two major brands, but it's still treated as a WWE product. And that's what I like. That's what their ECW rebrand back in the early 2000s failed to be, was
if they'd kept it more like the original ECW, it probably could have worked.
If they would have kept it more organic and just kept it like, and that's what NXT has, is that organic feel, and it still feels like you're watching stars being, made, and like people were like climbing up the ladder rung by rung, and like you're watching the struggle. And that's half of the enjoyment as a wrestling fan, is seeing somebody and you're just like, I fucking love this guy. I want to see him get his, like, and then like watching the struggle and going from here to here to here, even if it's not a main storyline, but like you got your person that you watch, and they eventually get to somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I if I have to only watch one WWE product,
it would always be NXT.
It would always be NXT.
Yeah.
Like,
someone from our Facebook chat actually has a question, I think, pertaining to that star in 2 years. What about the King of the Ropes as a solo guy away from the house party?
No. You just don't like. I mean, a main event.
Not main event. Maybe, again, mid card, but
I can see them trying to put like they want Damian Priest to be that guy that fills that like sort of like new Rey Mysterio, not in ring style, but like speaking for that section of the population.
The Latin star, essentially.
Yeah. That's why they paired him with Bad Bunny. They want eyes on him. Like he's got a look.
He's big.
He's muscular, he's tattooed. Like,
he's not bad in the ring.
He's a lot better than he used to be.
Yeah.
So
I could see in a couple years Priest being in that picture.
Yeah. But dude, like, how much would you like to see Cross versus The Fiend?
Yeah, I forgot about The Fiend. I mean, rightfully so. He's not been on TV for months, and I'm glad. We talked about this a couple weeks back. I'm very surprised. We're all very surprised that he's been kept off this long. I mean, of course, the Alexa Bliss stuff sort of, helps with that, but
yeah,
they do have to bring him back at some point. Is it a Mania thing?
Yeah, I think it is 100% a Mania thing, and I also don't necessarily think you see him until Mania. I think you can have Alexa Bliss and weird voices and weird overtures and everything. Like, I think you can have all of that speak for the Fiend and be just as effective without ever showing him. You can allude to him
without
show
announcing
the-
a Randy Fiend match or something.
yeah,
Like, 'cause
Randy Fiend in a Firefly Funhouse match.
that's what we want. Honestly, that's kind of what I want.
I think that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
Because they've been pushing this Randy Fiend thing for a really long time. And they're like the storyline is there. Randy has enough to play back on. Like, dude, think about Randy Orton being forced to relive those days in Evolution, and like the Legend Killer and all of these legends coming back, and like he has to pay for the things that he's done.
So
to
yeah,
get to where-
absolutely. That works
Dude, it
with the
has
Firefly thing. Like, it absolutely works with that. Yeah.
So I honestly hope that we don't see the Fiend until that match. And then, like, even then, Jaws is scarier because you only see parts of the shark and you only see it
Right.
a little bit at the end. And the same with Alien. So make it cerebral. If they're smart, they're working on it now. If I know Bray Wyatt, he is definitely working on it
he's
now.
got something on there. Yeah.
So that could be a show stealer.
We got I want to just quickly, I do want to run, like, we're not gonna do predictions, but I at least want to kind of run and have a quick talk about some of the matches that are going on at AE Revolution on Sunday. But related to that, do you think AEW will move the pay-per-views to Sunday long term, or is this a one-time thing? I've watched every AEW pay-per-view, but we'll have to unfortunately miss this one because it's not on a Saturday. Obviously, I mean, this particular person has to work on Monday mornings early, so they won't be able to watch it, or they won't be able to watch it live on a Sunday night. And I understand that. I kind of think that this is a one-time thing. I think that they will go back to Saturday pay-per-views, especially if they add more, because Sunday's always been kind of WWE's pay-per-view day. And if there's ever that crossover where they want to run a show on the same weekend, AEW is going to be the one to change days before WWE does.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, WCW used to always run on Sundays too.
True.
So I mean, I think that they can kind of go either way. I wonder if they're doing it to test if they get better numbers on
a Sunday,
versus-
which does make sense. People are more apt to go out on a Saturday night than they are a Sunday night. So if
Yeah.
you've got them still at home, you might be able to get a better number and a better rating out of them. Yeah.
Right. That's sort of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
thinking with it.
No, because otherwise I don't know that there was a big reason for this revolution, right? Like, was there something going on? Otherwise,
This was the one that they were gonna originally do in Miami,
yeah.
but like they're still at Daly's place and they still have the deal with it. So, and it's not like football's going on.
Yeah, it seems like they probably could have done it on either day.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is a very good question, and I do not know the answer to it. But I kind of like having the pay-per-view on Saturdays personally. I like that it switches it up every once in a while, and I don't know.
I'm usually not doing anything on a Saturday night anyway.
Exactly.
Well, actually, no, I take that back. I play Dungeons and Dragons on Saturday nights,
that's
so
right.
that.
So yeah, depending on the time and everything. We'll quickly go through the matches, and again, we're not going to go into predictions because hopefully we'll be able to do a quick show later on in the week, where we just kind of run through, all our predictions. But we've got. We'll ask you this: what match of all of them right now do you think opens the show? I mean, we've obviously got the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal. That they typically like to put those on the pre-show, don't they? Or
Well, they have a
'cause
Battle
they have-
Royal and a ladder.
and a ladder match, so we could see either that going. I had written down in my notes just for this one because there is still a TBA with the ladder match. Do they put Paul White in there?
Oh God, please don't.
I know, but it's like, ugh.
No, that's too WCW.
Yeah.
That's way too WCW.
I hope
it's bad
I
enough.
hope
Like
not.
we have Sting and Darby Allin in a street fight against Team Taz. Like that's enough.
Yeah, but that one, if done cinematically, they might be able to pull off something
If
cool
done
there.
cinematically.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that one.
Apart from, of course, Omega Moxley in the exploding barbed wire death match for the AEW World Championship.
I'm so excited to watch Jon Moxley lose that match.
He will lose that match.
100%.
He will lose
like
that
I
match.
don't know how anybody could honestly think that
that
Moxley's going to win that match.
No, exactly. And I'm right there with you. I mean, and it will be. I'm sure it will be a very entertaining match.
Yes,
but apart
the
from,
Good Brothers will show up.
Oh yeah, there's going to be
the
some.
The only
fuckery.
thing I can think of. Look, the only thing I can think of that could get Moxley to win that match is if Tama Tonga and Tongaloa show up.
That would be huge. That would be huge.
And dude, if Fale showed up, like if he could get around the Japan,
the travel and stuff.
Yeah, but if Bullet Club actually showed up and cost Kenny the match.
There's been an interesting thing that a couple people have picked up on too with Moxley's promos as of lately, and it's basically, in response to what Kenny has said that, we're going to have such an extreme stipulation because I know you won't quit. I know you won't retire. I know you won't stop coming after me, basically. So there's been a thought process that possibly we might not see Moxley on AEW television for a while, and that we might have him just kind of doing some stuff with New Japan Strong, and that this could be not an exodus from AEW with Moxley, but maybe take a little bit of a breather after a loss to Kenny.
The heart grow fond.
Exactly, and Kenny sort of gets to have that bragging rights of like, look who you don't see anymore on your TV because of me.
Until he eventually comes back and whoops the shit out of Kenny. Yeah, I love that.
I think that works. I think that works. And maybe he comes back with a Kota Ibushi or something to,
Oh, yeah, and also, like, Mox is going to have a kid soon, so...
So taking a little bit of time away might not...
Yeah. I totally... I don't know why I forget that Renee's pregnant until, I go on Instagram, and then it's just like, oh, Renee's pregnant.
What else do you think, what's match of the night without, at the moment? Is it Bucks in the Inner Circle? I mean,
No, it's 100% not Bucks in the Inner Circle. That match is going to be shit.
Paige and Hardy doesn't feel like is the match of the night. I mean...
No.
Omega Moxley is probably the match of the night. What's the sleeper?
I think the sleeper is... I think that honestly the Casino Tag Team Royale could be really good because it's it's elimination, but unlike most eliminations, if one member of the tag team goes out, the other member stays in.
Yeah, it seems like that's the way the AEW's been doing their tag team battle royals.
Yeah,
they did it the same way last time. I liked it as well.
And also that Face of the Revolution ladder match has potential.
It does. I think that might end up stealing the show.
It very well
the ladder
could.
match.
Well, Cody, Scorpio Sky, Penta, Lance Archer, and then it'll either be Preston Vance or
Max
Caster. I don't know who Max Caster is.
He is one of the Acclaimed, that rapping group, I think.
Yeah.
And they have a match tonight to determine who goes into the battle royal or the ladder match rather. And then of course Paul White is the TBA. I mean, that's clearly what's going to happen.
Stop that.
But anytime you put a TBA on a match, especially a ladder match like this for me, it's always fun, right? Like when you get to kind of just wonder who's gonna be there and how that's...
Well, yeah, I mean that's how it was for when Brian Cage came out at that battle royal, and I was like, holy shit,
he is still a huge. Look at that big boy.
He is. I mean, I don't know how much shit he's on, but god damn,
all of it. He's on all.
Yeah, he's on as much as Gallows is, I think.
Probably.
Fuck.
Oh, you think you want to wrap things up there, man? I think
Yeah, it
I think
seems
it's
like a good time.
a
It's
good
been
time.
yeah,
Oh,
been a
briefly.
been a good show.
Briefly. Just while we're on the topic of Revolution, you sent me a.
Revolution.
Damn it! I forgot to pull that. I forgot to pull that. I gotta need to still
I've
do
been letting
that.
it slide until the end of the show.
Thank you. But have you ever seen a wrestling show in a movie theater?
I have not. I sent you this story.
But
didn't
yes,
I?
like
Yeah.
yeah.
I know that back in the day, like back when closed circuit was a thing, that they used to like show pay-per-views in movie theaters and sporting arenas, and you'd like pay 10 or however much money, and like you'd watch it on a big screen. And no, I never have, and I'm very interested to see that AEW has partnered with Cinemark.
I don't know that we have any Cinemarks around.
I don't think we do. I think we only have Regal and AMC.
Yeah. I don't think that anywhere near us would be able to catch this, but it's an interesting concept, and I saw a thread about it. After
I'm
you
a
sent
lying
me.
asshole.
Oh, we do have them?
Oh yeah, so there's one at fucking City Walk.
That's a Cinemark now?
It's a Universal Cinemark. Yep.
Thought that was
And
an AMC.
And then at the Artigan, or what is it called, Deezerland now, Desertland, whatever the fuck. But yeah, there's a Cinemark there. So like I could walk to.
Are they airing it? Do you know if it's like every Cinemark or if it's just select ones?
So
Interesting
I will
though.
find out.
Interesting. I'm not sure it's the watching experience for me. But I was reading a thread about it of people that have been to them in the past, and they're like, it's a little bit strange because you get like a mixture of the atmospheres. You don't get a ton of like the cheering, but you do get people kind of like talking like during the show rather than like in a movie theater setting where, it's
Where
movie
people
theater
are just
rules of
being
shut
quiet,
up. Right.
yeah.
So it's a little bit more interactive. And I feel like under the right circumstances, that could probably be entertaining to, like watch it in a different capacity. So if I can imagine that it might be something beneficial for movie theaters with people not going to as many.
I mean, I would
to the
think
movies.
so.
So it might be something that in the future, I'd be willing to test the waters with. But
yeah, I might be as well. It's a very interesting scenario to me.
Yeah.
It's like what, pay $20 instead of $40, and,
right.
Go from there. So,
I don't know.
or what's more likely to happen is that I will be here just getting high as giraffe tits, and
watching the show from home.
Yeah. Which is way better anyway, because also then I don't have to wear a mask in my house.
Exactly.
And like we live in fucking Florida. I don't necessarily want to be in, like, I go indoors for specific things, and I try not to linger in there for any longer than possible. And 3+ hours of sitting in a movie theater,
not exactly stoked on it. Not for me. Not for
no,
me. Not yet.
it's
Not yet.
not-
Anyway.
no, sitting in an outdoor like an amphitheater, cool.
Fine,
Even
fine,
being in
yeah.
a performance center, I was fine with that because I know that they have really good fucking ventilation in there.
And good protocols as to everybody's being checked
All of us had to
before.
be tested when we went in. Yeah. So
It's the same reason I'm not comfortable going to WrestleMania this year and all that. Like, no thanks. Like, yes, it's an outdoor venue. I'm not comfortable around that many people, especially.
yeah, I'm not really either, but
If your boys, I know. If Reggie, I know.
if Reggie's on the show, I'm gonna be there.
Ah.
I will 100% be there. There is no chance that I won't go show support to my boy. So
I feel you. I understand it both ways.
yeah, exactly. You know how it is. Like,
Yeah. Guys, we're out of here for the evening. We hope that it's been a fun show for you, as it has been for us. we're going to try and do a small prediction show. We'll get out something for you. Whatever that is, we're going to get out some predictions before Revolution on Sunday. Of course, check out OhNoWrestling.com. Check out our Twitch stream if you're listening to this on a podcast, twitch.tv/ONRS Live. Join our Facebook group, Oh No, OHNO Wrestling. You know how Facebook works. Just type it. Oh, yeah, and Instagram. Check out Ono Wrestling. Yeah, Ono Wrestling on Instagram. That whole thing. Oh, we love you, and we will see you hopefully next Tuesday on our regular day. That being said, what do we say when we get out of here, Duncan? Woo! That was a spooky move.
Revolution.